Welcome back to Warm Up 4 Reviews. Today we have brought back the sword, Season 7 of Game of Thrones, Episode 1. Let's get started.
Remember them nights I was cold. Remember them nights I was sober. All of my life I was told.
I don't know, I don't want to show my allegiance to any king or queen, so I guess I'm just going to throw the sword away. I'll just place it gingerly right here. I don't want to throw that shit away. Anyway, Season 7, Episode 1. First of all, this episode is going to be full of spoilers. So if you haven't seen this episode, why aren't you watching this episode? And if you already saw it, well, stick around. Okay, first off, we have Arya Stark back with the phrase. So you get to see a whole entire scene where Arya Stark pretends to be Walder Frey. And she poisons literally all the main soldiers, all the people in his council, in the same room where they murdered the Stark family in the Red Wedding. And she just does it like a badass. She poisons all of them, spares the lives of those daughters that were forced to marry him, that were kind of younger than she is, because Walder Frey was a freak or whatever. So she ends up killing everybody, gets the revenge, and then she says, "The North remembers." So that was freaking awesome. Arya Stark. Right after Arya Stark, we go to Jon Snow, we go to Sansa, we go to Littlefinger, and we go all the way to Winterfell. Now we get to see a council where there's a little tension between Sansa Stark and Jon Snow over who's really in power or who really deserves to be the king or the queen in the North, because Littlefinger has poisoned, or actually just whispered into Sansa's ear, saying that Jon Snow is not even the legitimate son of the Starks, that she's the last remaining Stark alive, because of course they don't know about Bran, they don't know about Arya, but she's the last Stark, and that she should be the one ruling over the north, and Jon Snow's just a bastard. So you get to see that kind of tension just playing in her subconscious, like, oh, we should punish these people that betrayed us. But then Jon Snow says we need as much allies as we can, because the big war is not about Westeros or what happened on the previous wars. We have to focus on what's gonna happen ahead of us. So that was a cool tension between those two people. And I don't know, I get a feeling like Sansa Stark might do something devious, or she might take advice from Littlefinger and just double cross Jon Snow later on in the season. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, they are technically not even related, so should be very interesting. Then we finally get to go back to Westeros, where she rules as the legitimate Queen of the Andals in the First Man, Queen Cersei. And her and Jaime have this conversation how they don't have any partners in Westeros, that everybody's partnering up in different sides of the realm against her. They're kind of surrounded by enemies. And then out of nowhere comes Euron Greyjoy. They stole his ships, and then they went to join the Targaryens. And then she mentions how Tyrion also, they got betrayed by Tyrion, and now he's over there with the Targaryen. So they have a mutual enemy. Cersei declines the offer because she doesn't trust him, and he comes in with a request that he says he's going to bring her a gift that's priceless. And my first hunch was that she's going to bring him Tyrion, because he also mentioned that he's the greatest sailor in all 14 of the oceans, or the 14 seas. So he's going to do some Captain Jack Sparrow shit, bring Tyrion to Cersei or something like that. So that's what my theory is going to be going on from that perspective on that storyline. And then we go to the Citadel with Sam, your boy Sam, who's trying to become a maester. And you would think right now, oh man, what secrets has Sam uncovered? But we go to a bunch of freaking shots of him just becoming kind of like a nurse, kind of like a maid, just cleaning up people's, all these old folks, cleaning all their stuff, washing dishes, feeding them food. He's doing all the housework, all the works. Because when you start off in a new company or anywhere you go, you're going to start off at the bottom. You're going to be the freaking janitor. You're going to be cleaning toilets. So that's basically what he's doing right now. And he hasn't even had a chance to go over any of the documents that he needs to, that Jon Snow sent him there for a reason. And now he's kind of disappointed, but he kind of sneaks in and steals a couple books from the secret library. So most likely he's going to get in trouble. And he discovers something that's actually been something that's going to be a major role later in the entire series. Because he says that he found in one of those pages that Dragonstone, the island of Dragonstone, actually under that, it's an entire mountain full of freaking dragon glass. And now Daenerys Targaryen is on her way to Dragonstone. And then Cersei even mentioned that Dragonstone was, that was where Stannis Baratheon was controlling that castle. And that place was where the Targaryens first built that place before they attacked Westeros. So now she's going to arrive there and then attack Westeros. And also Jon Snow's trying to find out where more dragon glass is at. As soon as Sam tells Jon Snow that there's dragon glass under Dragonstone, he's probably going to get an army sent there, or he's going to want to go there and get as much dragon glass so they can make weapons for the White Walkers. So we might see Jon Snow confronting Daenerys Targaryen there. So that's what happened with Sam. And then we go back to everybody's favorite, Tormund, Giant's Bane, and he's in love with Brienne of Tarth. And that scene, there was only like a brief moment that they're together, but it was just such a lovable scene because he just has this smirk like, oh man, I'm in love with this girl because she's just a badass with the sword. And right after that, we cut into Sansa and Littlefinger again having a conversation where Littlefinger's trying to get in her head again, trying to tell her some stuff. But she cuts him off and he says, I know you're going to say some shit. So she's actually taking power right there. So it's a bunch of like power moves being made right here in Winterfell. So that's pretty interesting. Then we come back again to Arya, who's making her travels to Westeros. Well, she encounters a Lannister army who are there just investigating what happened at the Greyjoy. So she sits down, they offer her some food, and they're talking, and they ask her, where are you headed? Where are you going? Why are you alone? Where are you going? And then she's like, oh, I'm on my way to kill the queen. And then they have a laugh. But it was such a great scene because, you know, she's telling the truth. But by telling the truth, and it's such a ridiculous truth that they didn't believe her, they're like, whatever. So that was pretty cool. And you know that she's probably eventually going to do it. So that was just such an awesome scene. And from that scene, you got to see a different perspective of the Lannister army. Like these guys, they only care about their families. They actually have a good side to them. They don't care about what Cersei represents. They're just in the army because they have to be in the army. They still have some kind of humanity behind them. They're not just some mindless robots, some mindless. So that was pretty cool. Then we finally see the Hound again with the Brotherhood of No Banners. And they go into this place to a family that had helped the Hound in the previous seasons, and now they kind of froze over because winter is here, their crops and everything went away. They ended up killing each other, and just a touchful moment that the Hound actually has feelings, even though he doesn't express them in the right way. But you know that the Hound is actually doing things for the right reasons. And one of those scenes when he was in that house, he actually sees stuff through the fire, the Lord of Light. He gets to see what the Lord of Light is showing the Hound, and he sees the white wall by the sea. So there's going to be some kind of, that's where the White Walkers are going to make their way into Westeros through the wall that's connected to the sea, something like that. I'm not familiar with that at all, but that's looks like it's going to be something crucial later on in the season. We're going to find out. If you guys know what that is, please let me know. Towards the end of the episode, we also get Sam, who's actually, again, delivering his food, doing his rounds. And then an arm reaches out to him, and it's your boy, Ser Jorah, who's actually in the Citadel. He was in there looking for a cure for the grayscales or whatever he has, that disease. So he's in the Citadel looking for answers because that's the only place you would go to look for answers, where they have all the information of the world. Even one of the maesters says that without the maesters and without the Citadel, humans would just be no more than just dogs. So Ser Jorah, we finally get to see just his arm. We don't know if his whole body's starting to get covered. We only see his little arm reaching. So we're going to see how that turns out. And then at the end of the episode, we have finally Daenerys Targaryen. After 7 years, 7 seasons, she finally makes it back to Westeros. She steps foot in Dragonstone, and then they go to this the war room where Stannis used to have his little setup of all the like armies, and then she says, shall we begin? And then the episode ends. So season 7, we were promised there's gonna be 7 episodes. They're gonna be more action-packed. There's gonna be less of a drag. But after watching this episode, it was basically just setting everything up. So this episode, not a lot of major battles or key moments happening. It was a lot of information that we need for the rest of the season, but nothing really major is happening. Just kind of moving the chess pieces around, setting everything up. It's kind of like a recap, letting you know where every character stands right now. And I'm guessing episode 2 is gonna be some crazy shit going down, and then from there on, it's just gonna be a domino effect for the rest of the 5 episodes. So it's going to be interesting what happens next week. So thank you guys for watching. That was my recap of episode 1, season 7. Can't wait for next week. It kind of sucks because I got into Game of Thrones a little bit late. So I had to catch up by binge watching the entire seasons at a time. And right now I had to watch 1 episode. Now I have to wait another week to watch the next episode. Kind of sucks, but we have the sword. So thank you guys for watching. My name's Angel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit me up. Gingerly walking away.